Hello, Marcelo. Welcome to Uncensored. How has your morning been today?
I threw my back last night, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
you've been doing all sorts of stuff. So you're from Brazil.
Yes.
Yeah. How long have you lived in Brazil, and when did you come to the U.S.?
I came here when I was 19.
Oh, okay. Was it for school? What is it for?
Yeah, I was just supposed to be here for 6 weeks
Mm-hmm.
to take a few classes, English. I learned how to speak English by myself, and I wanted to get a few degrees and certificates, and I just never left.
Oh, what did you study?
I ended up going to community college and then college, so I got a degree in political science.
Oh, okay. Do you ever go back to Brazil and visit?
No.
No, never. Why not?
I don't like Brazil.
Oh, what don't you like about it?
Well, I mean, nothing. I don't like anything. It's just really poor country. But I still meet with my parents. We actually meet in different places. Like a month ago, I was in Europe with them.
Okay.
I was in Italy with them. That was really nice.
Oh, great. What age did you move to the US then?
When I was 19.
1919.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm 41 now.
Oh, you are? I had no idea. And when did you get into like kink content and the kink lifestyle?
Oh, those are two different things. That's how I learned English when I was 13 years. Well, no, I got into kink stuff when I was 13, and all femdom erotica was in English.
Oh,
It was
okay.
not in fucking Portuguese, right?
Really?
So we're just staring at the damn computer screen for 10 hours a day for a few years, and boom, I was speaking English, and I was just trying to masturbate. I wasn't trying to learn a damn thing.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to get off for you.
A lot of work to get off. Fortunately, now we have the Hitachi, right? So
Yeah, thank God.
yes,
You don't have to learn a whole new language in order to use the Hitachi.
right.
So what kind of femdom erotica were you reading at that time?
Or anything I could get my hands on, but mostly pain, corporal stuff, and don't remember. It's been a lifetime. It was a lifetime ago.
Yeah. Did you start your submissive journey via pain then, and then it expanded from there? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Walk me through what that looked like in the last, I don't know, like 30 years?
Trying to remember really. I guess spankings, I suppose, or just a woman in control, and quickly progressed to pegging and CBT, cock and ball torture, and then there were periods where I couldn't get no play, and I was married for a couple of years, and she wasn't into BDSM, and then I really got back into the industry, into the lifestyle. I was a living slave for almost a year. And after that, I missed the lifestyle. And so I started volunteering to do stuff for free with pro-doms. And suddenly I was paying my bills of doing that. So
Fantastic.
if you show up on time on porn, they start paying you. It's just a question of time.
You know, you would think that that's an easy thing to do, but in this industry, oh my God, people never show up on time. It's insane.
Isn't that great? That's how I'm employable.
So you were married for like a few years.
Couple
Did
years,
you?
yeah.
Did you try to introduce her or bring it up at all in
Yes.
that relationship? And
Oh,
how did
yeah.
that go?
Oh, that's how I met her. I met her on Craigslist on an ad asking for a woman to beat the crap out of me. And so she can't really say that I didn't warn her about it. But no, she learned that she wasn't into after we were already married. So
Okay, so she was just doing it as a job and not because she like loved the lifestyle of it.
right, she just wanted to be with someone.
Ah, got it. That's complicated.
I mean, we were both very young. So.
Okay. If you don't mind talking about it, like I think for a lot of men, it's really difficult to bring up like kinks and fetishes in a relationship. So it seems like after you were married, you realized like this is a core part of what you needed, and you transitioned to being a live-in slave, which is like I think on the extreme end of DS dynamics.
Yeah, well, I never had a problem vocalizing what I wanted. That's why I told her from the beginning that's what I wanted. She just didn't know what she wanted. And so it was very natural for me. Even today, I don't go on a date on anybody until I tell them a few things such as, hey, I do porn. I'm non-monogamous. And are you okay with fucking me? Yes. Okay, then I can take you for coffee.
Yeah, get the hard stuff out first. How did you meet the Dom to be a live-in slave, and what was the training like? Because that's a full-time job.
Well, no, I mean, it's not. It was a weird situation. There was a website called Color Me a few years ago. It's the predecessor of FetLife. And I found this woman, and we were a much older woman, and we started talking, and she was really into the lifestyle. But it was a strange situation. She was married to someone she didn't have sex with, and she had a daughter there, so we couldn't be. That was not her daughter; it was a stepdaughter. So we couldn't be completely BDSM all the time. But we played all the time. We played whenever we could, and she took me to dungeons and everything. And it's been a long time ago, but that learned me how to do things such as take an absurd amount of pain, or start my journey more towards pegging, and do my first forced buy stuff. So when I started doing this professionally, like, oh, you want this job as a cuckold? Yeah, but you have to eat the guy's cum, okay? And as I ask you a lot, yeah, just give me my money. I don't care.
What does an absurd amount of pain mean to you? How much is that?
When you're screaming, and that big screams does not mean no. It just means that's the way it is.
Yeah, I love pain bottoms. I think I'm a pretty heavy sadist in my personal life. Sometimes it's harder for videos because so many platforms, like the moment a guy's screaming or crying, they're like, we don't know if this is consensual or not, so they're just gonna flag everything as violent and dangerous activity. And I think like that's a tough part about the internet space.
I love technology.
Yeah, it is what it is. When you were a live-in slave, were there any? What does a day look like as a live-in slave? Are there tasks and duties that you have to do, or was it basically a casual relationship, but she had all the power in it?
None. No relationship is the same. Mine was that I did her coffee in the morning, and I did some chores around the house, and she liked to cook, so she cooked for me, and I did everything she had told me to do. She had all the power. But I don't think there are many living slaves anywhere. So
yeah, I know a few doms where if they have a live-in slave dynamic, it's a very high protocol, right? So they wake up at a certain time, they make breakfast at a certain time, they're folding laundry, they're cleaning the house, they're like really performing certain tasks and duties. But I suppose like the term slave is different depending on each dynamic. Yeah. But for viewers who don't know, like what makes it different from like normal dom sub dynamic then?
Well, I also find that the most DS relationship you're gonna find is 90% vanilla. Expecting anything more than that is completely unrealistic.
Okay.
Yeah. People, it's like boot camp in the military. I've never been in the military, but it's not that level of intensity your entire time there. It's just to break you in. Then it's more relaxed. To expect a level of intensity on day-to-day life is just, I don't know anyone who does it. And it's much more stressful for the dom, I imagine. No one wants to like be in that space all the time. You can't really relax, I don't think.
Okay. What types of shoots have you been doing recently that you've been really enjoying?
That is really cool. I've been doing full sex femdom scenes that I really like. When I actually get to fuck the girl, and they get to fuck my ass and beat me. So we combine everything in one thing. Like did two, I'm very proud with one with Penny Barber, and another one with my friend London River, both for kink.com.
Yeah, kink is a great site. I think one of my first BDSM videos was from kink.com, and I remember coming across it, and at the time it was really innovative, right? They do the little interviews beforehand, and they have the aftercare portion after. And I remember seeing that and being like, this is a more realistic view of how things kind of go about, rather than the full fantasy headspace of person's actually, kidnapped or taken or subjugated in a way without any sort of bookends.
Yeah. Did you get to go to the armory?
Yes, I did when I was in high school, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, so I visited with my
yeah, a few of them.
ex-boyfriend, and at the time I wasn't even really familiar with BDSM yet. I just knew I was gravitating towards it. And I remember walking through it, and it was a beautiful space.
Yeah, I got to shoot there a few times. That was
I mean, I
awesome.
might have seen you when I was, exploring back in the day.
I don't think so. So in high school,
I was in high school at the time, yeah. Maybe, you never know.
we had the areas just for the talents. That was really cool.
Mm.
Mhm.
Have you been to the ranch in Vegas yet?
Yeah, that's where we shot the last 2 scenes that I mentioned.
Okay, I haven't visited. How's the space?
Compared to the armory, not that great.
Okay.
Compared to everything else now, it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's just the industry is different now. It's a lot less glamorous.
Mm.
But it pays more, and we get to do things we really didn't get to do anymore, like mixing sex, BDSM. The talents have a lot more control. I kind of like the industry right now, but I do miss the glamour part.
Yeah, what do you mean by was more glamorous back then?
Well, we had a whole castle to shoot with,
Mm-hmm.
like a major company that was in one place, and they actually bought the former Armory of California, right? And we were all in one place, so you get to see people that you like. Oh my God, I've been a fan of yours for years. Oh, great! Look at my boobs. You like them? And now I would just drive to Vegas and drive to Vegas and do a shoot and leave, and they pay twice as much, so that's good.
Yeah, there's perks of it too,
Yeah.
I suppose. Because you've been in the industry for so long and also in like the kinks lifestyle for so long, what would you say has been the biggest change throughout the course of your, BDSM journey?
Well, the biggest one for me or for the industry itself?
Let's do both, yeah.
Well, for me, it was how much I was able to diversify what I do. First, I was just a paintball, and then I taught myself how to take bigger and bigger things up my butt, which was my weak point, and now that's what I'm mostly known for. And finally, to actually be able to do sex scenes, I actually do mainstream now too, which is crazy. I have mainstream fans who never see my BDSM stuff. Which is like, seriously, did you see my Twitter? It's literally Marcelo's slave.
I didn't even know you did mainstream porn because I know you as Marcelo's slave.
I know. Yeah, like Teen Skeet. They're awesome.
And what's the biggest difference like in your own journey then? Because that was sort of the other part of the question.
Oh no, that's what for me.
Oh, that's for you? Okay, what's the biggest change in the industry then?
The companies are on their way out. It's out the individuals now. Everybody, well, you know that, right? So I'm working with people who are hiring me for their own content now. That's almost most of my business now. So say someone like Blake Blossom. I just shot with her, I think, for the 4th time. She pays me more than other people do, and sometimes she comes to my place. I have a dungeon where I live, or I found her another dungeon that we could shoot, and I get to shoot with other girls who just come to my place and we shoot, and it's it's much more casual, but with bigger stars that there's no middle person. And I did a lot of people like with Cherie DeVille. I got to shoot with Cherie and Lisa Ann once. They both pegged me pretending I'm a horse.
That's so funny.
So that's what the industry is. There's much less big companies and more like the performers are in charge now.
Yeah, I do like that. It's a lot more democratized.
Oh, yeah.
There's been so many issues with the big companies too in the past. And I like the way things are going, where it's a little bit more individual on an individual basis. I read somewhere that you've only cried once in a shoot. What happened there?
Where did you hear that?
I did a little research.
That's a good one. Okay, that was my first big break. That was at the Armory. And I was Matrix Madeline, very well known porn star at the time. And she gave me a break. I did one scene for kink. It was like a transsexual scene. Didn't blow anyone's mind, but she saw some of my stuff and she wanted to give me a chance, and I did it. And she just started single tailing me from the in front, and they would just trusted me that if I don't say my safe word, I'm okay. And then I start crying and still not saying my safe word. And when you finish, people were applauding, and we won a few awards for that one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What was it about that moment and that pain that brought it out of you?
I don't know. I think I'm more sensitive to stingy pain, like most people. And also, I have an affliction about being hit on the front. But the endorphins were so crazy high. And I wanted to do a good impression, and I was having fun.
Yeah.
And it was painful, so it was great.
How long did the marks last on your body? Do you heal fast?
I heal incredibly fast. That one lasted more than 2 weeks, but that has been my record so far. Nothing lasted beyond that.
Do you have any scars from sessions or shoots?
No.
No scars at all, really?
No. I had one when a dom was doing an ashtray scene, and she didn't realize that there was one that was some ashes on my chest that were still lit. And by the time we got it out, he had made like a little scar, but it was off after a few years. So
yeah,
no
it's
more.
Good for a pain bottom to heal fast, in my opinion.
It's useful if you want to get more than one scene a month. Yeah.
Do you ever do blood play then, since you're quite good at pain?
Yes, we can shoot that. I do that in my private life.
Yeah. Okay. I really love knife play, needle play.
Me too.
Especially when there's a lot of like red coming out of the body, and especially when it's sort of on the more exquisite, beautiful end of things. I recently did a shoot with a sub where he was strung up, chained up, and then I did like long cuts on his torso on the front and the back, and then like punched the blood out of him. And there was just like such beautiful splatters on my face and all over the walls and coming down my gloves, and it was so much fun.
Where did you sell that?
I have my own personal site.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a developer to create a site for myself because there's no place to put it.
Yeah, that's the only problem. I would love to see a place. I mean, my favorite site really is one called Motherless. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
It's such a shady site that when I send people the link, the browser says, "Danger, can't open this, danger."
Yeah.
I tried to open in Italy and it says, "Nope."
I mean, that's when you know it's a good site.
Yes.
Yeah, my personal site right now, because of the way it's built out and because the payment processor allows that, it doesn't. It allows the content. There's some workarounds around it. If you Google it, it comes up, but there's a few sites that warns it as a scam site, and that's when you know it's real. My site also takes Bitcoin for people who don't want to be tracked, and
oh, that's awesome.
There's ways around it. There's definitely ways around it.
Yeah, I think that's the future of porn, really, finding a process that can use credit cards to buy and sell cryptocurrency. So you're not buying porn, you're buying cryptocurrency. There's some dispensaries that accept credit cards now because that's what they do. They charge a $5 fee, and you can use your credit card to buy pot, which is crazy.
Yeah, on my site, you're buying credits, and then you can use the credits to purchase videos or purchase a subscription.
They have that system already for porn? That's amazing.
Well, for my personal site, the coding is kind of built out in that way.
That's
but
brilliant.
I feel like that's where it's going now. Like everyone has their own fan site, and it's just one step away from everyone should be able to build out their own sites and process the payments themselves, and don't take a huge cut or a small cut for payment processors only.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And can you buy the credits with a credit card?
The what?
Can you buy the credits with a credit card?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
There's a credit
awesome.
card, yeah. So
awesome.
It works out.
Kink should have that. They should transition to that platform.
I think the perk of me being not a huge company is that I can get away with it. There's less government oversight. I mean, the site can still be taken down, but it would have to be the government sending a very specific letter and notice for me to take it down.
That could be it, although Kink is the only company that I know that can use a credit card system to sell fisting. And they are the biggest one in fetish. So they let them get away with some stuff, but they are not under the radar. So I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, there's a few like coding workarounds, but what would you say like your most taboo shoot has been?
Define taboo, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a broad
No,
question.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess from point of view of what the plot would be, that I was fucking stepdaughters, I suppose.
You think that's the most taboo you've ever done?
No,
Not the horse spit roast that you did.
well, I mean, I was pretending to be a horse.
Well, they're pretending to be a stepdaughter.
That's true, but we only used the step part once, so I was essentially fucking my daughter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that was my most taboo, but define taboos, right? I mean, being upside down, had the baseball up my butt.
That's fun.
I don't know exactly what taboo would be. That word doesn't have any meaning for me anymore.
Yeah. Okay. I guess like compared to like vanilla conceptions of I mean, yeah, that is a good question. Like, how do you define taboo, right? Like, it's a having like a sense of what is acceptable in the mainstream, and then figuring out like what deviates the most from that. And right, I think like a few years ago, like choking, spitting, face slapping, light bondage would be considered BDSM, and now it feels pretty vanilla. Like everyone does it. Like piss play, I think is pretty vanilla. Feet stuff, pretty vanilla. So I suppose when I think about like most type of like, have you ever done any like scat stuff before or full
Not on
toilet?
camera.
No, not on camera. Yeah, off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that creates like such a powerful degradation headspace for some people, but for others, quite intimate. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think I probably did everything that you can do on camera, and most things that you can't do on camera, not on camera. How do you judge what taboo is? I don't know. Nothing offends me. Oh, that's not true. The N word offends me.
Okay, thank God. Okay, we got that on camera.
Yeah, fine if anybody wants to use it, if they that turns them on. Just I'm not gonna use it if I can help it. You know.
Yeah.
I had one talent ask me to use it, and it made me very uncomfortable.
Oh, really? Was that a like?
It was a black talent, friend of mine, really nice guy, but hey, I'm getting paid, so I guess I have to. It's not my brand, really.
Yeah, I think that word, especially in the U.S., is it's so incredibly loaded.
I can't really judge. I love being called a fag. I love it. So who am I to say that you like to be called the N word? I mean, I don't like it, but it's not for me to judge.
Yeah, I heard from Slayer just now when we were doing the interview that you're very good at cuckolding scenes.
That was mostly my work for most of my career, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like really good at the verbal self-humiliation and all of that.
That's
Where do you find inspiration for all the verbiage?
I don't say much. I kind of repeat what they tell me.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I've been doing it for such a long time. Such a long time that when Netflix did a documentary on sex and they were talking about cuckold sex, you can see me there for 10 seconds. Because they probably just Googled cuckold porn and they saw one of my scenes.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you've done this for so long. You've accepted so much of this world. Can you even get humiliated or degraded anymore?
No.
Because you're so at peace with it. And I think humiliation, degradation always requires an element of shame, right? But if you're completely shameless, is it possible for you to feel that way anymore?
It's a disappointing thing. I used to miss that.
Yeah.
I think public humiliation is still something I want to explore more, but it's difficult to find doms that are comfortable taking me in public because they're afraid of offending other people, not putting people who didn't consent to the play. My feeling is more like, is it legal? Technically, yeah, so the fuck cares?
Yeah, what type of public play have you done before?
Well, a lot, but a lot of it involving feminization. Some things I can't go into it in public, but, but yes. but it depends. It's hard to find doms who are okay doing that.
Yeah.
Most of it were in public in public or private parties, which I don't find it very humiliating because people are expecting to see stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to break some rules for it to be a certain way. I really enjoyed discreet public play. A few weeks ago, I had a sub, basically like masturbate in public, but it's under some coverings, and then made him walk around with like very light covering over his dick.
How did you make him masturbate in public?
Just like I told him to unzip his pants and start doing it like at the table, and I let him take off his jacket a little bit. But there was just so many people around that I definitely think someone saw, because there's a couple at a table next to us that I think saw his hand moving in a certain way, and they were they walked off. Yeah.
That's cool. When I think of public humiliation, it's more like getting me in a French maid outfit and walk me to Starbucks.
Oh, so it's very, very obvious.
Well, yeah, that's the humiliation part.
Yeah.
And very few people are willing to do that because the other people didn't consent to that.
Yeah, I think there is a like healthy boundary there around being seen in public.
Most people think like you. My view is like, well, is it illegal to dress like a French maid and go to Starbucks? No. What is it going to affect someone's life? Like a kid seeing you like that, is it gonna really that different than anything else? Like, come on, mind your own business, right?
Yeah, there's a line of thinking in BDSM where it's like if you're going to be in public, you should be ready for the public, and that means everyone. Like if you don't want to see certain things, just stay at home, right? Like if you're not ready to do it, or if you're not ready to explain it, or like to other people.
And the other one is like everybody has to consent at all times, even for passive things such as seeing things. My thinking is the consent part applies only to the people who are active in a scene. Obviously, you're not going to break the law. You can't take your clothes off and jerk off on Starbucks unless you have a jacket over here.
Yeah, exactly.
But, it's hard to find women who are comfortable blurring those lines. And those lines are the only things that really humiliate me to some point. Oh, boy, can I get arrested doing this? No? Well, then it doesn't turn me on.
Would you consent to a scene where you do get arrested?
No, it's I have to be able to find other work.
Okay.
If my career in porn ever goes down, like I'm already 41, so can't have a criminal record.
Yeah, I mean, I think for men in porn, you can be 50, 60 and still do what you're doing. There's always a niche, right? Like you can be the pervy stepdad or pervy uncle at a certain age.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I have no doubts that, that can be filled.
Well, yeah. Well, let's see. I still have 25 years of my mortgage, so has to last until then.
Oh, yeah, let's hope so. And are you based out in LA then? Do you travel a lot?
Yes. I'm based in Covina, which is about 25 miles from here, northeast.
Okay.
And we were supposed to meet earlier this morning.
Yeah, well, you fucked up your back, so I'm like, I can't peg you. I also packed such a big suitcase of items I wanted to use on you. And my suitcase is so heavy, it's overweight because I brought all my big dildos, and now I can't stretch you out. And I wanted to fist you. I got my long gloves. I was so ready to use you like a Muppet.
Oh, God, when you're back?
I mean, maybe next month, maybe December, Do you come to New York at all? No, ever?
No, I don't.
We have the biggest kink scene there.
I heard. The girl that fucked up my back last night told me that. Yes, she's from New York.
It's true. Yeah. Wait, who fucked up your back?
It's someone. It's mostly in the lifestyle, but
okay.
Yeah. I do have a friend who's in the industry there, though. Madam Director. She's in New York City.
Madam Director?
Yeah.
No, I don't know her.
Yeah, she's really kinky. She does everything. It's awesome.
Fantastic. I love women who try everything.
She's such a sadistic bitch. Wonderful woman.
What did she do to you?
Oh, she beat me a lot. But we did also a lot of pegging, a lot of fisting. She's really into fisting. Yeah. Oh boy, I got fisted way too much last night.
Way too much? What's the limit there?
When I can't feel my insides. Arch your back. What back? There's nothing back. There's nothing left there.
Men do need to learn how to arch their back a little bit better. That has been a consistent theme in my experience.
We're not very flexible, are we?
No, yeah, do some yoga, practice. I oh my gosh, I always blink out on certain questions. You don't come to New York. You have your own dungeon.
Oh, you asked me if I travel. I mostly
yes.
I mostly travel to Vegas. I just drive there.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes people fly me to other places, but that's part of the glamorous part. That's much more rare now. I was in Seattle not too long ago, and
Is there anything in Seattle?
there is Astro Domina.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she's pretty big. I've always wanted to collab with her, but she's always somewhere doing something.
Yeah,
She's a big hustler.
yeah, I like her. She's awesome.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do a full beatdown scene in a while, like a kidnapping and beatdown scene.
That's what we did. Yeah,
Oh, with Astro?
yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Mhm.
What, were you in a car? Like,
Yeah.
what type of kidnapping was it?
I mean, yeah, we were in a car. You know, the setup is the most difficult part. You know, and to get into the car we have to be tied up. So you have to tie up outside the car, then get into the van without other people seeing. It's a little hard.
Yeah. I've always wanted to also do a house break-in scene. Like I'm a robber or something, break into the house, but then see someone, looking very vulnerable, and then like strap them and then leave after taking all their stuff too.
Wait, would you be so you coming in, you're the robber, or you?
I'm the robber.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And like taking over the space in that way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, my biggest kink recently has been forced intox. I really like that.
I love forced intox. You did say poppers is very important to you.
Yeah, I did.
recently.
I did so many yesterday. Oh my god.
Do you have a hangover from him?
Not the next day, but I always have a bad headache on the date. So I do love poppers. Yeah.
Do you use a gas mask for it?
Sometimes,
or...
usually, I have a super sniffer now.
Oh, okay.
You press a button and it goes both nostrils.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that actually. Usually the way I use it is outside of, normally just putting it up against their nose is a gas mask, or during COVID when everyone was masked up, you can put it on the mask, it soaks up, and you can make them do discreet public play while they're inhaling it the whole time with like a vibrator in them or a big butt plug, and it's really good foreplay before heading into a dungeon.
I love you. You're awesome.
I like discreet public play. It's great, especially in New York when there's a lot of people and they're like getting kind of bounced around.
No, I lived in San Francisco. It's kind of reminding me of some of the stuff that we did.
Ooh, wait, tell me some stories. I want to hear some stories of that.
Oh, nothing like discreet humiliation is a big part in San Francisco. But I moved there when I graduated. That was 2007. A lot changed there, but it's starting to look very much like San Francisco in a much bigger stage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. One thing I never liked about East Coast BDSM is the emphasis on aesthetics. Every BDSM party seems to be a pageant show in New York City. Maybe it's not like that. In San Francisco, it was very much like, we don't give a shit how you look or what you dress. Just show me what you can do. How much can you get that person in pain without being physically dangerous? Or
Yeah.
how much can you shove up his butt? Like, oh, but you're not wearing latex? How dare you?
Don't you think like at a certain point of skill competency it heads into the realm of aesthetics though?
No.
Not at all. I think it does get there sometimes to kind of wrap it all together.
For aesthetics?
I think so to a degree, but obviously I'm dressed pretty comfortably. I like the casual feeling when it comes to BDSM. I don't think I need to be in latex or leather all the time. I like the discreet kind of like the subtle, leather or the subtle whatever. But I like to balance it out with something soft usually and something cute.
I agree, and I'm not gonna say I don't like leather. I do when you dress really great.
Thank you.
But when I see someone, it's not that I don't like a full latex look. It's just when I see a woman dressed like that, I feel like she's uncomfortable. That does not turn me on. I see a woman who is comfortable, like she knows what she's doing.
Oh.
And I see someone who's comfortable and looks fantastic. I'm just thinking, jackpot.
Yeah, there was this like avant-garde fashion artist where he only worked with leathers, but he would intentionally make all of his articles of clothing uncomfortable, because his perspective was if an animal had to die for this, the wearer should constantly feel that discomfort whenever they have the item on.
That's so New York.
That is very New York, right? A little pretentious, but it's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, note to self. I'm okay in the West Coast.
Yeah. The New York parties are pretty crazy, though. I do like when it gets down and grimy, it's nice. A few weeks ago, I was at this underground femdom wrestling event, and my friend was doing a knife fucking show in front of everyone within the wrestling ring.
A knife fucking show?
Yeah, so...
How do you fuck a knife?
It sounds exactly the way. It's pretty straightforward. She's fucking the knife.
You mean the edge part?
Yeah, well, it was a little bit more doled out, but, they're putting in the pussy, going in and out, making her come.
That does not sound safe.
It was doled out. She was totally fine, and her pussy was not bleeding.
That's good.
But it was funny, though. There were some guys in the crowd. They thought it was a normal wrestling event, like they did jujitsu. They came, and, my friend was grabbing the bottom's hair, and, like, she's screaming, and... these guys were like, what the fuck is happening here? And the knife came on. They're like, oh my god, I had no idea. But I do like certain events like that.
Yeah, I can't really blame just on New York. A lot of the events in LA are becoming very much like a pageant show, which I don't like. Like when it's not really a BDSM event, when most of the event is if he has a dance floor, it's not a BDSM party in my view. If he has a...
Wow, really?
Yeah, if he has
Doms can't dance?
If he has a dress code, it's not a BDSM party.
Wow,
Of course Doms can dance, absolutely. But not at the dungeon. A dungeon is supposed to be a dungeon.
Okay, what if there's a dance floor,
and then a tiny space for BDSM on the top? Yeah, that's a dance floor.
Okay, dance floor, but it's only naked subs dancing, and the Doms are watching and judging.
I never seen anything like that, so maybe.
I think that would be funny. I also feel like there should be stand-up comedy shows where it's subs coming up naked and Doms in the audience, and they have to make us laugh in a genuine way. I think that would be hilarious.
I like that.
I think that would be great, right? I can't believe that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, well, I love BDSM, really. It's submissive female,
Such a shame.
It fucking sucks, It
does. It does.
I go on so many dates, and women are, even the dominant women, they're the version of LA dominant women really are women that are so submissive who they want to top you because that's what makes you happy. I'm like, I hate the patriarchy so much. They just fuck up all my potential dominant women.
Oh my god, yeah. I think also, like, as an Asian woman, every time I'm looking up like Asian doms or like Asian BDSM, it's always like all the Japanese girls, all of the, high-pitched, like, schoolgirl, exactly, pigtails. There's so much of it out there, to the point where when I've been in the industry for not as long as you, obviously, but it's been a little while, but still I get men coming up to me in vanilla and maybe like, you're not really dominant, there's no way, like, I bet you're a little something something. And I'm like, well, why don't you try to find out? come here and find out.
They don't deserve it.
They don't.
Yeah, I do wish I find most Asian women that I met, they're not really submissive. She's good.
See, this is how I know you've actually interacted with Asian women, because every Asian woman I know is insane. Insane. It's the upbringing, right? I think it's true.
I had a lot of fun with Asian women. Yeah, they're probably the least submissive of all women that I met. Yeah.
I mean, I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't know any, for example, like Asian mothers that is not like totally out of their mind.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to East Asia?
No.
No, really.
No.
I think you might have fun in like some of the Japanese BDSM scenes. They have some really like weird, cool stuff there.
I know. I heard that. Yeah. Japanese porn is something interesting.
Mm.
I heard that the idea was that you can't show penetration, but you can do whatever else you want, and they really run with that premise.
They do. There's a genre of like Japanese BDSM porn that doesn't really translate to the US where a person's in bondage and it's just like a lot of hands touching everywhere. Yeah, like their whole
Sensory
body.
deprivation in a way.
Yeah, yeah, but we don't see that as much in the US. I think the US is so penetration focused.
We are.
Uh-huh.
Well, I can't say I'm very different because I do so much pegging, but yeah. I do love a beat down and stuff that there's no penetration. Does that include CBT?
I would love to beat you up. Like, are you comfortable with taking hits everywhere?
It depends on how.
Okay.
I don't do ball busting.
Oh, I know you said that. Why not?
I've seen people retire from this.
Okay.
The risk reward balance, it's not worth the ROI.
You just need to do it with someone who knows what they're doing.
That's what they all say. One flinch, it's not. You get the most skilled person in the world. If I flinch the wrong way at the wrong place, I'm in the ER.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, maybe I can persuade you in the future.
No, I'll try. I'll do it. I'm not great at it.
Okay.
I just don't like to fail.
Uh-huh.
I would like to get punched in the face once.
I would love to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
I did a session with that when I was in Miami a few months ago. It was a lot of fun. A total beatdown.
Did you use a glove or no?
I wrapped a towel over my hand. Yeah, so we started with like a pillow over the face and then that over the hand and then one punch that's just the fist. God. But this is just such a hard bone, like it's so easy to break a nose or whatever.
I would love, and that's a big fear of mine. I have a huge nose, so it's so easy. It would be so easy to break it.
Would you be down for it to be broken or no?
No.
Are you down for
broken nose? No.
No. Are you down for pain that's more breakage on the body then?
Sure. I mean, and I'm down for the possibility of something like that happening. I'm not down for you to set up to break my nose.
Yes. Yeah.
Anytime I do any BDSM I take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a question of what kind of level of risk I'm willing to take.
Right. Yeah.
If there's a 100% chance of risk of you breaking my nose, no.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a 20%, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love the idea of getting really fucked up with poppers and having someone make me do a lot of it and just punch the shit out of me and knocking me out with a jab to my head.
Yeah, or a liver punch too. That's a good one.
Oh, but that comes before. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the appetizer. All the body shots are appetizers.
It happened to me yesterday. I love a good gut sucker punch.
Yes, a knee to the body too. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, by that time I get so excited that you can knee or kick my ball because, I mean, if I'm in that much subspace, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, I'll warm you up. Do you like slow pain then? Because I love beatdowns, but I also like the other side of it.
Define slow pain.
For example, I did a session with a sub where he was in a bondage chair and we did like very slow fingertip with needles, like sliding it under the nails.
Oof.
Very, very slow. Like the whole point of it is just like very slow penetration inside and then another one and another one.
Yes,
a little bit more
but
calculated.
Not that one. Not in my. I had needles in my toe fingernails.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I did that to him
nails,
too.
yes.
Yeah, I wanted to do a matching set. It's a manicure pedicure.
And I had needles in my dick and my balls and everything.
Uh-huh.
And clothes spins really slow everywhere. So yes, I do love that.
Okay, good to know.
One of the biggest pain in terms of slow pains, I love when I do saline infusion.
On their tits?
Or balls, yes.
Okay.
And that's a very slow pain that takes like 45 minutes to build.
Yeah.
And by the time we get there, you're just so juiced up with endorphins. So yes, I like it. Slow pain too.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Saline injections are fun because your body just absorbs it afterwards. I did a really fun session with Mistress Natalie in New York where she had a sub. He was some substances like for a few days actually.
Oh my God.
And it was a full like feminization journey for him. So by day 3, when I came in, he was like laying on his back on a chair, and he had blackout sclera, so he couldn't see anything. Wig, he was shaved down, pedicure, manicure, saline injection. And that session, she sewed his balls together to make
I
a
done
pussy.
that. Yeah.
And then we were just there fingering a fully made up, blow-up doll. And his tits were big enough to put a proper bra on.
And he
So
was
much fun.
he was a client, right?
For her, yeah. And
Yeah.
I was coming in as a,
Right.
double. Or actually, there was multiple people coming in for like 5 hours. So I was like a tenfold.
It seems like only clients get to do that kind of dedicated scenes, really, that last for days and stuff like that. I really envy them a lot. Those kinds of really labor and time intensive. I do some of those, but not nearly to that level. It takes a lot of dedication and time people don't have to do that in their personal life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bespoke experience, right? Like, I think that's the difference of hiring a dom versus
Right.
playing in a lifestyle capacity. You are coming in for something that's out of this world. Like, you want to be transported to a different dimension or like experience something you can't get from a dating app. Have you hired a dom before?
I would, but I never was able to. I have a thing where I don't want to be with anybody who doesn't want to. I don't like what's the name? I don't like transactional relationships. Which is really strange thing to hear from a sex worker, right?
Yeah.
I should have allowed people who should with me because they want to get the content, and that's fine. Even when they're not paying me, I'm still having fun. Some of the times, the big stars, they all pay me very well. But if it's just something that the only reason that they're there is because I'm giving them cash, I wish I could enjoy that. I just never really did anything. And it's like when you do BDSM and you're not enjoying, it's like stubbing your toe. It's not fun.
That's an interesting way to think about it. Yeah, especially as a sex worker, because I think when it comes to doming, right, there is that power exchange of their client, but also like there's XYZ that is being negotiated within their boundaries. I've always seen it as like, this is X amount for my time. Like, and that's basically it. This is X amount for the time that's valuable for me, and they can't access me in any other way. Because I am more valuable, they have to do extra in order to be in the same space. Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah, but I think that's just like, that's my take and my perspective on it.
But you talk about your work, though. I mean, you don't have any people that you see BDSM wise in your personal life?
I think this is where that does come into play, because I have a lot of subs who were clients and now they are lifestyle subs.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I think that transition is a lot easier when I can tell they are investing in me, right? And even when they become lifestyle subs, like I still have certain things I like and a certain level of, unfortunately, bouginess that I enjoy out of service. So the transition for me is a little bit more organic when they become lifestyle subs. Yeah.
I heard about that happening.
I think it's quite normal, actually.
Yeah, I heard from some doms. Yeah. The only way for me is to actually find people I go out with and they develop some relationship. I've been seeing this my top for over 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
She's my main partner. And
wonderful.
And it's not a sexual relationship. It's not a professional relationship. It's just a real lifestyle relationship, which means they can be months before we play, but I'm very lucky, just happy to come and serve her. She's my best friend.
Oh, I love that.
Me too. But then you have to go into situations where she sees clients multiple times a month. Like, that's very different. It's work versus lifestyle.
Yeah. I know you said you're polyamorous. Do you ever feel jealous as clients are getting that level of attention versus you?
No, I like her to have fun. In that case like that, it's just money. But she see other people for play. And you know the term compersion, right?
What is it?
Compersion. Happy that your partner is having fun.
Yeah.
I feel that. I want, obviously I would like my partners to want to see me constantly, as much as I want to see them, but I don't want them to see it if they don't want to. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. How did you two meet?
Okay, so I was dating someone else who was taking me to a dungeon in Orange County, and I was naked with a hood on, and she was just dragging me around, and she says this someone who is an acquaintance of ours, and this woman who was opening her marriage at the time, and she's still one of my best friends now, but she was not a dom. She was just someone interested in the lifestyle. She was taking us, so she couldn't hit me very hard. So, like, here, hey. She vaguely knew her. Hey, Miss K, you beat him. I can't hit him bad enough. And then she proceeded to just slap my balls for the next 20 minutes. And I didn't get to meet that person until the next year.
Oh, you had no idea who was slapping it.
So technically, I met my top Miss K in 2013. I just didn't see her until 2014.
Yeah, just totally blind.
Yes.
And what's the next time she slapped your balls? You're like, oh, this feels familiar. I know which hand this is. Your ball slap connoisseur at that point.
Yes. You know, we had lots of good time together. We did a lot of really extreme things.
I love the extreme. It's great.
And she's a fantastic pro dom too with her own clients. So
okay, she's
linked on my Twitter.
Oh, I will check that out.
Yeah.
You said Forced Intox is really big for you recently. What outside of poppers? What else do you take for Forced Intox?
Not sure legally.
So, oh, you can't talk about it.
Well, it's I would, but now I mention my top, so I'm not gonna mention any drugs that I do.
Okay.
But
okay.
yeah, everything that's legal, that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, I can talk about the stuff I use on my subs then.
Well, okay. So I have never done that with my top, so I guess I can talk. Okay. So yes, I like ketamine. I like
do K-hole and
yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like being helpless when someone is using me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ketamine's a favorite of mine now. Mushrooms. I even had like some people when they shove cocaine up my butt.
Oh, it's a fast release, right?
Yeah. You know when they put in those little capsules.
Yes. Okay.
I like to try a few different ones too. I'm enjoying Forced Intox too much recently. So.
I was telling Slayer earlier that I had a client who had access to chemicals as part of his job, and he would make his own chemicals where he wanted to do chemical bondage with me, and so he would take it before a session, and he couldn't constrict his muscles, and he was totally weak, and I can pick him up, lift him around, and he would be absolutely just flopping. And he timed the chemicals so well that if it's 2 hours, he'll start regaining mobility again within 30 minutes of the 2 hours being up, and that was a good one.
Sounds fun. I also love alcohol. That's my go-to.
That's an easy one.
Yeah. Well, I love girly drinks like Mike's Hard Lemonade. But I also like vodka and rum.
Yeah, I think G is also pretty good for...
I tried that too. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think G is good for it. And yeah, any sort of, classically date rape drugs tend to be pretty good for Forced Intox too.
I love that word, date rape. Yeah, I love... Because that's my biggest fantasy really, is to get actually raped by a woman, like give up a safe word for a night and just being taken.
Have you not done that before?
Many, many times.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I assume. I was like, there. Of course you.
How do you think I threw up my back last night? Stop! My fucking back hurts, you fucking bitch. Oh.
Keep taking it. Take bigger.
I have a texting log here saying that I can keep going, so take it.
Yeah, I love CMC scenes. I think that's like...
They're my favorite.
If you're talking about power exchange, like that's real power exchange and real intensity.
It's awesome. It's the only way to really give up control, because the submissive has so much control being seen otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I think being alive is a form of control too. So any sort of scene that can get close to the other end of things is also interesting for me. I've always wanted to do a resurrection scene.
Really?
Temporary death and then revitalization, but that's so incredibly high risk that I don't think it's possible. Another
No.
thing that I wanted to do, that I talked with, Danielle Blunt, she's a dom in New York.
No.
We wanted to do a cuckolding scene, but it's both of us going under with an anesthesiologist, and it's like us kind of bonding in nothingness together while the anesthesiologist is, alive and aware and looking from the outside. It's hard to find someone to do that type of scene too.
Say that again. Doing what? How?
An anesthesiologist, like
Okay.
going
Oh,
under
yeah, I
before
do.
surgery
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, we wanted to do like a chemical cuckolding where both of us kind of sink into the nothingness together, and he's on the outside looking into like us be in that state.
How's that cuckolding?
I think it's just the fact that like he's unable to like be with us in that moment of like nothingness. Yeah, but it's not cuckolding in like a penetrative sense. It's a little bit more like,
It's very mental.
yeah, it is very mental. I thought it would be interesting to try, but either way, I need a doctor for any kind of scene that requires going under or the heart stopping temporarily, or
That sounds
any of
really
that.
fun. I do like the idea of being barely conscient, or just to know what's happening, but not conscious at all to actually stop what's about to happen.
Yeah, no wonder you like K, right? Like you
Yes.
can't move, but you know what's happening around you.
My arm is flopping.
Yeah, the one thing about K though is like it numbs you out, so sometimes you can't feel if you're getting beat up, you can't feel it. And I like it when the sub is feeling it.
Yeah, it's also not the best drug if you're trying to come after. But
Yeah, coming is extraneous
that's
sometimes.
see, I usually don't come during heavy BDSM scenes, but a lot of the people I play with, they want to have actual sex with too. So like, you should have told me that before. You gave me that way.
Yeah, put on a strap. We have technology now. You don't need your bio dick.
I don't need my bio.
Yeah, we have all kinds of other dicks.
Yeah, it's so strange. Yeah, I've been doing this for such a long time, and for the vast majority of the time, my dick has been just like a superfluous appendices, right? And now all of a sudden, in the next 3-4 years, like, oh yeah, we want you to fuck that woman. Okay, I can definitely do that. Please let me know that before I fast for the last 24 hours.
You're like, oh, I'm not being fucked there.
Kind of hard to make to have the Cialis work if you don't have fat in your body.
Was it strange moving to like actual fucking after years of that being an accessory essentially?
It was surprising that I could do it. I've been taking antidepressants for my entire life, so I always had a lot of ED problems. But then I realized that everything can be solved with drugs. I found out if I take my Cialis, the right kind of Cialis, the right dosage, with fat beforehand, and don't take my medications on that day, then it works just as good as anyone else. But then how do you put fat with and you're still able to take up in your butt, right? That's not the kind of problems most people in porn have to deal with, to do both at the same time. I found out if you eat eggs, you don't have any mass.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh.
So I often bring boiled eggs to shoots with me.
That's so funny. Just imagining you with like plastic bags of boiled eggs on a porn shoot.
They'll say like, "Oh, Marcelo was here, right?"
Yeah, very unglamorous.
Oh yeah, like sometimes on like on a place that looks like a garage. That's the studio. We pay you more, but there's no castle.
Yeah, look, I think garages, basements, weird underground places, back alleys, those are the best for BDSM. I love a good garage.
If they're well equipped, yes.
Yeah, but there's also like we don't need a, penthouse dungeon all the time. Like we get it. Like there's a class component to that, but a nice garage that you just got a big Lowe's haul, some hammers and nails and things that can double as fixing your car or building a house. I think that works really well for sessions.
There is some appeal for that, but my experience, those garages are always full of so much clutter that in order to move to a different area of the garage, okay, let's move the crap from area A to area B so we can put the camera there and move so you barely have one space that's not full clutter. So yeah, I see the idea of just some empty space to be very attractive. That usually not the reality.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
I'm very OCD. I don't like unorganized stuff.
I kind of like the clutter sometimes. I think it breeds creativity. Like there's a little chaos to it. You know, you're doing something, you suddenly see something in the corner, you just grab it and use it. I think there's a element of chaos that I like about
I can see that,
messy spaces. Yeah.
If there's no camera around, yes, I can see that as being very enjoyable.
Yes, yeah. I came from the in-person space, so I started at the dungeon in 2019, and then I only started doing digital work a year and a half ago-ish. So transitioning from the in-person stuff to what I'm doing now it's been a learning curve. Yeah, like having things laid out in a specific way so I'm not forgetting, making sure the camera's there, lighting, whatever. It's been interesting. Do you have a favorite dungeon outside of yours?
Oh, mine's fine, but it's not my favorite by any means. My favorite dungeon is definitely my Top's place, which is it's really well equipped. Yeah, and he has everything from like a motor-driven hoist to stuff that you can only get in Germany or England, to milking machines, to
I love milking machines.
You know what a serious kit is?
Yes, of course.
Yes, she actually has one.
That stuff is amazing.
You know how hard it is to clean that shit? She had to invent a whole different way to clean that no one else has. She's compressed air. So
wow.
And I see other people having the machines. They never work anymore because they don't know how to clean. They don't even know what kind of lube to use. So most of the time that you see them on Twitter, they're just for show. They're not working.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I think people underestimate how much of BDSM is being like, okay, you can use cavicide on this, you can't use cavicide on that. Alcohol is used for this and you can't use alcohol for that. Like latex can't mix with certain things.
I have labels in my engine like don't use on that one.
Yeah, like the details that goes into the logistics of materials and scenes and putting things together is a whole like job in itself.
Oh, it's a huge job. Imagine going to a scene in Vegas. You have to drive there. It starts at 10 a.m. and you have to get fisted and getting your dick hard to fuck a woman. And you leaving Vegas by 5 a.m. That means that you have to wake up like at 3 a.m. or so to start cleaning out. And what do you eat? You have to plan even like 24 hours before about what your diet's going to be.
Exactly.
It's fucking a lot of work.
Yeah.
What do you do if you have 3 anal scenes in 3 days in a row? I've done that. It's not easy.
Do you just starve yourself?
Sometimes.
That's what I've heard. You should just stop eating. Juice cleanse. You know, apparently that's a fad anyway.
I was working with Aiden Star once, and she said, you know what, it's probably should really eat something because it seems like you're about to collapse. And I was, and she was right.
Yeah, well, collapsing is hot sometimes, you know. So weak, you can't even move.
Yeah.
Oh, 310? Okay. Any last questions, things for the audience that you would want to know about yourself? Or they would want to know about you?
I don't know. Can you think of anything?
Is there anything I didn't ask? I guess I think this is probably Aura. Let me just... Can you answer that and grab her?
Hi, are you inside?
Yeah, I guess so. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this podcast too is so that people can see things from a like submissive man's side of the equation, and I feel like there isn't enough media out there that portrays it in a positive light. So what would you say to someone who might be in the closet about their kinks and fetishes, like afraid to bring it up to a girlfriend or afraid to jump into the lifestyle because they're worried about perception or not be able to find love or romance?
Okay, so the first part about finding love, that the problem is that it's not having the courage to tell your girlfriend. If you already have a girlfriend, you're fucked. You need to find someone. You're in a very small niche inside of a relatively small niche. I don't go out and with random civilians and then tell them, hey, I do fetish porn and I'm submissive and I'm polyamorous. That's crazy. You have to find someone who fits your sexual needs.
So tell them early. Don't get in a relationship before
don't
that.
Don't even meet people for the first date without telling them that. That's important. What other people think, give a shit what other people think. I mean, if I give a shit what other people think, I would use a different name as my stage name than my real name. Would I? And most of BDSM is not what you see in porn. And it's just like you're lucky to play with your main partner a few times a year. Like maybe a little more if you have. If you want the whole fantasy of a real submissive and a real dom with the latex, you have to see a professional. That's not what lifestyle is.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
Yeah, in my experience too. Yeah, in my experience, it's this and hoodies and sweatpants while someone is bringing you a coffee.
Yeah. Otherwise, they have to be paying us.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Tell them early, and yeah, don't give a fuck if this is who you are.
And it may be that you need to just have your regular partner and then pay for a professional to do it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think that's the balance, in my opinion. Like, it's totally valid to be very in love with your like primary partner, but they don't want to, fist you every 2 weeks, and it's okay to find someone who can bake the cake for you. Yeah.
Right. And if you can be honest with them about that, that's great. I mean, most people aren't, but I think over time, most people would tolerate something like that in their relationship.
Yeah. My favorite clients are people who are like, they're in a relationship and their partner knows, and it's not something that they're hiding or have a lot of complexes around. Yeah.
That's not the majority of people.
It's not, but hopefully stuff like this will make it more mainstream. So
I agree.
Thank you, Marcelo.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I can't wait to shoot with you soon.
Me too.